and welcome to the Easy Transition Customer Journey. In this podcast, we help you grow your business by focusing on your customer journey, which aligns marketing, sales, and customer service. I'm your host, Darren Cato. Let's get started. Today, we're diving into the customer journey with a real life case study. So at Easy Transition, we're passionate about helping small businesses like yours thrive. But guess what? Even we, those marketing experts, can sometimes get tripped up by bad customer journeys. You might be surprised to hear that we don't only run a successful marketing agency, which helps you automate your marketing and build systems around what you do. We also run coding business for kids. So we teach kids how to code by building their own video games. We have 6 brick and mortar locations around the Atlanta metro area. And I was looking for a new cleaning company. So the cleaning company I had went AWOL. I have no idea what happened to them. So I'm looking for a new company. And I figured it hit me. I'm going through the customer journey. So I've been talking about the customer journey on this podcast, and it includes 5 steps that customers take when making a new significant purchase. The first stage is awareness. This is where they are now aware that they need a particular service product. And as a business selling that product, you need to work on your awareness stage, which is where you're throwing out ads, you're doing cold email, cold calling. There's multiple ways to make customers aware that you have the product or service they need. Right? That's the awareness stage. Then they move into the findability stage. This is where they're like, I know company A exists, but let's see who else is out there at a better price or whatever. So they go comparison shopping. And this is findability. This is how they find you. And overwhelmingly, people pull out their phone or their computer and they search on Google and say, business name near me or business type near me. So in my case, it was commercial cleaners near me. The next phase is reputation. Price, and when you've done your shopping, you looked at price, you looked at other things. Now you're looking at reputation. Is this company good at what they do? How have other people rated them? How are other people talking about them? In fact, did they even answer the phone when I called? That also says something about their reputation. So people are looking at reputation as a metric when making decisions on should I use this company or not. Then stage 4 is conversion. Conversion is all about how easy is it for me to do business with you? Are you making it easy? Is it a pain for me to even get started? You want to have some conversion tools, and that could be your website, that could be your payment platform, bookings, a number of things that could make it, even your process, to make it really easy for me as a customer to do business with you. Then stage 5 is the final stage. It's advocacy. So now that they've gone through the buying process with you and they've been a customer for some time, will they recommend you to someone else? This is not just leaving a review. This is that customer going to go and tell their friend about you and highly recommend you and even do some of your sales and marketing for you for free, in many cases. Sometimes you can incentivize them, but for the most part, they're really advocates. They really like your product or service, and they're telling other people that, hey, I tried this. It was awesome. You should try it too. So if you can win at all of these 5 stages, then you can win at marketing and you can win in business in general. Okay, this is what we talk about on this podcast. And so this is what we implement in our marketing company. So let's talk about my journey on looking for a commercial cleaner, going through this framework. So let's start with phase 1, the awareness stage. So in awareness, I wasn't thinking about the journey. As many customers, they don't think about the journey. They just start looking for a business. So the first thing I looked at was word of mouth, right? It's like, who knows a good cleaner in this area? And I got some recommendations, but then the one that stood out was the company I was already doing business with. Like I said, we have 6 locations. So one of them we acquired at the end of last year, and they came with a cleaning company. They're already doing work for us. So they were a franchise. So it was easy to just reach out to the owner. He happened to live where I live and said, hey, just come over to one of my other locations and see if you can do a quote for me. That was very easy. It took almost no work, just sending an email. The problem was they were doing great work at the location where we hired them for already. And the billing process is a little bit odd, right? So it was a little bit difficult to do billing. I have to go check on it every month. So there were things that just were not great. So if you think about that's the conversion phase, there's the advocacy phase, they were sort of failing there. And it already left a bad taste in my mouth, but it was convenient. So I reached out to them anyway. The other sources I got were at yet another location which was smaller and I didn't need to be clean. Somebody left some flyers. So when I walked in, I said, "Hey, what's this?" So I picked it up and called them and tried to get them to come over and, give me a price, give me a quote. And one of them responded, the other still hasn't responded. Right. So again, this is the conversion stage. It's like you're making it really difficult to do business with you. If I call you or text you and you don't respond, then chances are, I'm busy. I got things to do. I'm not going to keep bugging you. I'm going to just move on to the next person. So there's so many things that just weren't working. So the one who did respond, it was a lot of back and forth. She was supposed to come in one day, but didn't come and ended up going to a different location. And there were still things that just didn't work. But at least she responded. I was cold called. Somebody cold called me and said, we happen to do commercial cleaning, which is just in time. So I'm like, sure, let's book an appointment and come out. So while these methods work, they're effective. Word of mouth and cold calling and dropping off flyers at a business, they're effective. They're hard to scale, for one. They're also not very efficient, right? Because if you're cold calling me or dropping off flyers when I had a cleaner, I'm probably going to ignore it. It's probably going to go in the trash. I'm probably going to not listen to your cold caller. Although it's effective, it's only effective when it hits at the right moment. So it's not very efficient. So what I would have liked to see on the awareness stage, again, these are all tactics in the awareness stage, right? So what I would have liked to see is when I search for commercial cleaners near me on Google, maybe I don't choose somebody right away, but when I come back to Google on my Gmail or something, or even on my Facebook, I should start seeing ads for commercial cleaners near me, right? Because I didn't make a purchase decision right away. No matter how you feel about targeted marketing, it's pretty effective and efficient at the same time because people are getting those ads only when they need them if you do them right. Right. So just something to think about when you look at the awareness space. Okay, so let's move on to the next stage, findability. So like I said, I did go to Google and search commercial cleaners near me. And my surprise was that the companies who I was already evaluating, couldn't find them on Google. Right. So that's a little bit of a red flag. I couldn't find them on Google. And, they didn't have any website, no Google My Business listings. They were basically ghosts. It was a little weird. It was a little weird. But I did find other companies. There were other businesses that were listed. Their websites were a little bit strange. A lot of them there were other business listings like Yelp and Thumbtack. And I know, small businesses, they get on Thumbtack, but they don't love it because they take a lot of their margins. And there are other ways to get to get business listings going without relying on Thumbtack, which takes a big chunk of your margin. And no matter what industry you're in, you have a Thumbtack type platform that takes a good of your margin. You don't really want to get listed on that. If you're a restaurant, it's like Uber Eats or something. If you're in the medical space and it's Zocdoc. These are okay, but just know that there are other ways that you can get listed. Okay, so that's findability. Let's move on to the next stage, which is reputation. Okay, so once I've found a company that I'm narrowing them down, the next part is I'm going to go check the reviews on Google because where else would I write? So I don't know anything about these companies. The best way is to go and listen to what other people have said about them. So what happens is if the reviews are non-existent, then I have nothing to compare it to. I'm more likely going to go to the one that has hundreds of reviews and most of them are 5 stars than the one that either doesn't exist or has one review, even if it's a 5-star review, but it's one person. It could be your cut, right? I don't know. So I'm looking for volume and I'm looking for quality, right? So that's for the reviews. So some key takeaways here, right? Building a strong online presence with positive reviews directly on your website sometimes, like embedding the Google reviews on your website. That goes a long way to establish trust with potential customers because Google reviews are one of the most trusted things on the planet. So you definitely want to be on there. If you're not on there, basically you don't exist to these customers. So you want to get that up and running. Okay, so stage 4, conversion. So conversion is actually, I think, one of the most important stages in your marketing system. a lot of these cleaners had really poor websites. They were new websites, but there was one, for example, where the call to action had, I think it was, book a walkthrough or something. But then right next to it in a big button was something about apply here. And the apply button was bigger than the other button. So as a customer, I clicked on the biggest thing, and apply was applying for a job, but it's front and center on their website. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You need employees, and that's important. But that's a different function. That is not the same marketing function. It is a marketing function in some sense, but it's not a marketing function to acquire customers. It does not belong on the on your homepage in the hero section. It doesn't belong there. So I end up clicking on that, and I was like, why is this form so long? Then I realized I was doing the wrong thing. So this is the kind of, at least this guy had a good website, but a pretty website, but it was not very good at converting customers. It was not very effective at converting customers. The other thing that they didn't have a quick way to communicate. There was no chat widget on there. There's no automation. There's no texting, nothing like that, like nothing modern. Just a website with maybe an email address and maybe a form that doesn't get responded to. So I got a lot of basic websites like that. Most of them were built on the Google website platform, which by the way is no more. I believe they got out of that business some time ago, and I think a lot of the companies may not even realize that because their website went nowhere. So this is conversion. This is how easy it is. You make it for people to do business with you. What I would like to see on these websites are good call to actions, a lead magnet, something maybe saying, hey, especially if you're dealing with you're selling to another business that is multi-location that has been in business for a while, you want to showcase your services as quickly as possible so they can see that you're a good fit, so that they can do business with you long term. Because these businesses don't go anywhere. They're going to be working with you long term. My last cleaner was with me for about 2 years until she vanished. And I wouldn't have gone anywhere with her. I wouldn't have got rid of her if she was still around. Getting into the business as quickly as possible and showcasing what you can do, your customer service skills, your cleaning skill, I think will go a long way to get you more business. So having some sort of lead magnet that says some discourse on your first clean or something, I think would go a long way to getting you more business. But a lot of these companies don't do that. They make the process really, really convoluted, so they have to come to your store, which makes sense. But then when they come to the store, what I've noticed is that there's not a whole lot that they do. They kind of look around, and they're like, "Oh, thank you." It takes like literally 2 minutes. They walk out and they said, "I'll send you a quote," and then maybe 3 or 4 days later, you get a quote. So I'm like, wait a minute, couldn't we have done this over the phone with a camera or something? So it could be much quicker. There are a lot of things that can be done to improve that process to make it easier to do business with your customers so that you're not essentially wasting their time, right? Or using up their time because business owners are busy. So yeah, it was a pretty frustrating process, and it looked like the entire industry operated that way. It would be, even something like being able to just book the walkthrough. If we had to do a walkthrough, book it online. I don't need to talk to anybody. Just let me book it online, and then you show up. Right? It was weird. Getting a simple quote took days. Communication felt clunky. It became clear that most of these businesses weren't making it easy for customers to do business with them. So key takeaways are a smooth and seamless conversion process is vital. Make it easy for potential customers to contact you, get a quote, and book your services. Right. Last step was advocacy. And, needless to say, I haven't chosen a vendor yet, but I didn't have anyone in my network saying, hey, use this company because they're so good. It's just because I guess the process is just broken. So marketing strategies seem to be stuck in the past, making it a struggle for me, the customer, to even find them, let alone hire them. So turning a satisfied customer into advocate requires consistently exceeding expectations through the entire customer journey. It's not just doing the work, it's also the entire customer journey. It's your customer service, it's your payment, it's everything. If you were to fix all these things, I think a company in that space could really blow up. And there's a leader in that space. Just searching in my area, I wasn't able to quickly identify one. And a leader doesn't mean that the leader is charging the most money or anything like that. It could be the leader is so efficient at what they do that they can actually charge less and provide a better service, right? That's been my experience, right? This experience highlighted the importance of a well-defined customer journey for any local business. And here at Easy Transition, what we do is that we can help you build a marketing system that attracts the right customers, guides them through a seamless buying process, and ultimately turns them into your biggest fans. You want to learn more? Head over to easytransition.com and click Get Started, and we'll show you how to take your customer journey from a horror story to a success story. Thanks for tuning in today to the Easy Transition Customer Journeys podcast. We'll catch you on the next episode.